Good evening, Graham.
Skazz, yes.
Welcome to episode 270 of the Brand Nerds podcast. There we go, 270. He fucking threw me. Every time I got used to him going, what, 270? And he does it once, it completely fucking throws me.
Yep,
troll.
Keep you on your toes.
What a fucking troll. Hey, Skazz?
I'm alive.
Good.
I'm old.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. I actually meant to ask you this whole podcast, but yeah, hey, we're here. There was a fight. Those storage units nearby. They didn't get anywhere near your stuff, did it?
Wait, what?
There was some storage units down the road from me that caught fire.
I didn't even realise you had storage units down the road from yours.
They're on industrial estate near us, aren't they?
Oh right, yeah. Yeah. I know what you're on about. Down by where I'm based and all that was. Down one of the back tracks. Down by the dump.
Mm.
Oh my god! If my stuff was there, I'd be crying right now.
Yeah, because I think the whole lot went up.
Wow.
I believe.
Now I know people say, "Hey, yo, storage units are normally just for people's junk." Near enough, my entire life is in a storage unit, so which doesn't really amount to much. So if you know, feel bad for some people. They're not just like, oh mate, there's some random extra furniture or that random thing that my mother-in-law got me that I don't like or whatever it is. Some people actually have important. No, thankfully my gear didn't get toasted.
Oh, good. I just saying because mother told me, isn't the Skazz got all his stuff in a storage unit? It's like, yeah, I think so. He said, do you know where? I said, I'm not too sure. I think it's around the corner. And she goes, oh, that went up in flames. I thought, oh god, I hope not.
Yeah, it'd be just my luck, really, wouldn't it?
That would be just your luck. I mean, I'm sure when the insurance comes round, everybody has a Picasso in there.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Doesn't everyone?
Yeah. We had a Picasso in there. We had like prices.
I've got a Stradivarius in there.
Fabergé eggs. Yeah, we've got the Mona Lisa. Everybody's got a copy of the Mona Lisa, but it's unique to each of them.
I had the crown jewels once.
Yeah. In a storage unit.
Well, where else are they going to go?
To be fair, a vault's is a fancy storage unit, isn't it?
Exactly.
A vault's a storage unit with better locks.
Yes. That is true. Although, in fairness, these days you're probably not going to see that many vaults because banks are all closing and banks are normally where vaults go.
It's all digital vaults now. It's all gone. Oh.
I mean, in fairness, what do you need a bank for these days anyway? They're just bookkeepers.
To be honest, I can't.
Apps do that.
I can't remember the last time I went to a bank.
Only time I ever go to the bank is when something fucks up. And they go, do you want to use the app? And I was like, if I wanted to use the app, I wouldn't be here. Right? And then the great thing is, I'm now going, all those times you told me to use the app, you're now out of a job.
Yeah. Because NatWest is shutting down. Apparently, one month they had like 300 customers in a month.
Wow. There you go.
I mean, if you're working there, that's probably quite a cushy thing to be doing at the time. It's like, enjoy it while you're lasted.
I mean, at the end of the day, though, again, they are saying, they just keep on telling their customers, like, do it on the app, do it on the app, do it on the app.
Do it online.
And my mum even went in there to do a transfer. She's always done these transfers in branch. Always. And they're like, yeah, we refuse to do the transfer. I was like, what? You have to use the app now. So then we literally was like, why are you even here then? And well, months later, they're not there, or they won't be.
Mm.
So that is a bit. We did speak to a woman in Barclays Bank as well. Lassie said how there's even thoughts that Barclays might go as well, and that they might just do like pop-ups for banking. Yeah. So the idea basically being that, you know, money isn't like physical anymore, really.
Well, it isn't.
It's just numbers on a spreadsheet. And all they need is access to a VPN that connects to their main servers or whatever.
Yeah.
So as long as they can tunnel into, you know, servers at HQ, they can literally set up pop-up branches, sarcastic air quotes, anywhere.
A bit like how you have all the little mini post office branches these days everywhere, rather than an actual branch, they have like a little counter somewhere.
Yeah. So, you know, hey, you'll be able to go soon. You'll be able to, I don't know, go do your banking at Greg's.
Yeah, I can see that.
Grab your sausage rolls, coffee,
Yeah.
transfer $2,000.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, that's all fine. Perhaps what they should do is they should all group together and they can have a little, like, you can have a single building schedule, and you go and say, there's the NatWest coup, there's the Barclays coup.
You say that, but that was what was suggested.
Oh, see, I'm a genius.
So yeah, mate, all great minds think alike and all that. Man,
all fools
really...
seldom differ.
Yeah. It just, oh man, there's not going to be anything in town anymore, is there really? I mean, if the banks aren't safe, what is?
I mean, as long as people keep going to coffee shops, you'll be all right.
Yeah, but we've got drive-throughs of those now.
I know. So I when I last went to town was, I haven't been to town in years. I went there for an eye test of all things, because that you do kind of need to see someone in person at the moment. You still physically need to visit somebody. And I went to do an eye test, and I hadn't done one for years. And I went in. This is the first time I've gone to town in years. And I walked in and thought, when did the nuclear bomb drop?
Yeah, where's everything gone?
Why didn't people tell me about this? I'm sure I lived down the road. I would have heard it. I'm pretty sure, but it's just nothing. Just
well, I consider everything north of the Bascule Bridge a foreign country.
So update. Last time I had to go into town was to renew my driving license, so I had to get a new photo taken. I had to go to the post office in Smiths to get my driving license done. I didn't have a post office in Smiths. I walked to the end of town where it used to be, and it's like, oh, it's closed. So what the fuck am I supposed to do now? And I ended up going home, not realising it's moved to Smiths.
I can't remember if I renewed my driver's license. Not that it matters. I'm not on the road at the moment, but you know. Oh dear. Oh no, I remember, because when I got married, I had to take in ID, and they were like, "I've never seen a driver's license this out of date." And I was like,
what I love is when they don't accept them if they're out of date. It's like, well, hang on a second, I've not changed. It's just, you know, my picture's there, my name's there. Why is it suddenly not working anymore?
It's like, because it's like, yeah, but
so if I was gonna forge one, I'd forge one that was in date.
That is true. Why would I want to do more paperwork if I've ripped one off? That's just dumb.
If I'm gonna create a dodgy counterfeit, I'm gonna make it look legit.
Mate, even the illegal immigrants have got better paperwork than me.
Yeah. Yeah. You just need to pay some Russian dude to do it for you.
Yeah, clearly.
He probably do it quicker than the actual civil service achieved.
Mate, I could just like, you know, the guys that are coming over on the boats, just go, look, have any of you got any paperwork I can nick? Like, anything at all.
Yeah.
Because you've clearly got more than I have.
Yeah.
So I've got my name written on the back. I've got my name and a contact written on the back of this beer mat. I'll have it.
Look, you can share my identity if you can get me some paperwork to go with it. Because I need some. I can't. No one seems to want to give it to me.
Can you guys hook me up with someone to get me some ID? And they're like, what? It's like, well, you guys are going to need it, and I ain't got any.
Yeah. Hey, look, you guys can get it done in a couple of days. It takes the government 2 years to get me my ID back. So, you know, it's worth it. That's probably cheaper.
Probably. More friendly.
Yeah. Right. Well, I know I've got a little Stalker 2 update for you, Skazz.
Oh, have you?
Yes. I fixed Stalker 2. So, my biggest gripe...
fixed it?
I
so
did.
It was broken?
Yes. Well, you know my biggest gripe with Stalker 2 was the voice acting.
Your biggest gripe with Stalker 2 was the virtue that there's Stalker 2.
Yeah, it's voice acting, yeah. But I discovered, I thought, I wonder, checked in the sound options, you can have different voice dialogue to subtitles. So I switched all back to Ukrainian. So now it's sorted. It feels fine because it also it just works because you can still see what they're talking about, but it feels right now rather than some strange British shopkeeper.
Yeah, I will say I have the same problem with modern Monster Hunter, especially with Monster Hunter Wilds. Like, Monster Hunter has always had this kind of weird, funky Monster Hunter language going on. And around Monster Hunter World, they were like, oh, here, you can have the game with English voices. I was like, what the fuck do I want that for? Apparently, loads of people love the English voices, but because I'm an old man and I remember what it was like before,
Yeah.
I can't get into the groove of the characters speaking in English because they're effectively cavemen. So, I mean, I know the language hasn't changed that much, but, So then when you go to Monster Hunter, so Wild actually gave you the option of Monster Hunter language, and it was an option.
Is it actually called Monster Hunter language?
I can't remember what it's called now, but yeah, I believe so. I believe so. He's trying to be cheek, but yeah, I believe so. But in Wilds, it's like you've got. Do you want to listen to them in English? I was like, no. Any other better options? No. I mean, you could listen to it in German, I suppose. I was like, no. No. Can I just have it in the regular one, please? No, but it
Can't
completely
the regular pretend language.
it just completely rips me out of the world.
Yeah.
So I get your groove. Like, people don't take voice acting seriously. They're like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal.
Oh, it is. It adds to the atmosphere.
I have the same problem actually. Ghost of Tsushima. I can't stand that game in English. Can't but apparently, the voices were all mapped and animated to the Western dialogue, and I was like, that's disgusting. And then they're like, yeah, but I can't play a game. So the people who were talking to me were like, I can't play games though if the mouths don't match up with the voices. And I was like, are you mentally soft-boiled? Like, for decades, games didn't have the lips match up with the sounds.
Yeah, because they couldn't animate it for starters.
Yeah, so, and it's like, well, now they've got lip syncing, I can't go back kind of thing. And it's like, but the English dialogue sounds absolutely shite.
And I bet you they're the same people who say that, but when they watch a foreign film, they probably watch a dubbed version.
Probably, yeah. Probably. Yeah. And I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand it. So they're like, yeah, but the Japanese is completely out of time. And it's like, I don't care. It sounds right. It looks right, as weird as that sounds.
Yeah. I did the same with Ghostwire Tokyo. I played it in Japanese with the English subtitles. And I
played that dubbed, and my God, that was...
It fits properly because you're in Japan, so it kind of fits between the languages. I think that's where fantasy stuff I'm not quite so worried about. Well, I'm about to contradict myself on that. But if I'm playing games set in a country, particularly it's like more recognisable country, I kind of want it in the correct dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah. But just to correct myself or update myself for fantasy stuff, I will lie, and people are going to hate me. If I play a fantasy game that's got American accents in it, it just throws me completely. It doesn't, even because it just doesn't fit. I remember playing Morrowind, which I didn't have a lot of. It was fully voiced, but you'd have little barks you went round past the characters, and most of them were all right. But there was one, for some reason, they put this guy from some of the suburbs of New York, and you go past this orc, and he goes, "What's this about?" And you think, "What the fuck?" Why? Yeah. That just completely ruins the whole thing. It's like, oh, I'm not in fancy area of, was it Tamriel, was it called in Elder Scrolls?
Yes.
I think it's Tamriel. I'm not in some fancy elf world Morrowind. I'm in, Brooklyn, New York. I'll go buy a pizza, I suppose.
It's not a bad choice, to be fair.
No, but that's all ruined it. And I tell you, another game that I played. I haven't played the final version. I played the early access version, so I don't know if they changed it. So I don't want to say definite. Kingdom Come Deliverance, same thing. It's set in I can't remember part of rural. Is it Norway? It's set in some.
Not sure. I think I know the game you're on about.
Yeah, it's in that sort. It's designed to be it's set in an actual location in medieval times. And the characters there is one who's got a very strong American accent, which again throws it completely off.
Yeah.
And when she says, "Oh, he stinks," oh Jesus Christ! No, you wouldn't say that. It's like the dialogue the written dialogue and the voice acting didn't work. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the biggest things that breaks my immersion in a game is actually the voice. Sometimes I can look over it, But in general, that's one of the things that really breaks the sort of environment, particularly if it's something that's historical or if it's like saying a real place, or it doesn't feel right. And frankly, I hate to be, I'm going to say it, American accents do not work in any fantasy game. European accents, work. So New World accents work, but American accents just do not work. They're too modern, and they just sound modern, and it breaks it.
Can I just go on?
No, so okay, you could argue that in say something like Assassin's Creed, we hear British accents aren't probably correct because they wouldn't have spoke that way back then. It somehow still works better because it's
do they
immersion.
not have that in law? Like, is there not a reason for that in law though? That the animus that they're using.
Oh, Assassin's Creed, bad example.
State.
Okay, but I mean in a game set in the past. I was just using this game set rather than Assassin's Creed specifically. I was just saying a game that is set in the past.
Yeah. So I will kind of start there. In my defense, if I ever play a game dubbed, so I think I played Ghostwire. I might have played that in dub. I can't remember now. I don't like reading on stream.
No, so subtitles are a bit of a problem.
Yeah, so if buckets of the main problem is because there are people out there, if they stream, they will actively read the subtitles.
Yeah.
They will read it and they'll do voices and all that. I don't like doing that.
No.
So if I can get away with it, I'll just put it on the dub and then people can hear what it's saying rather than me having, because I read quickly. So if I'm reading subs, I'll just burn through it really quickly.
Yeah.
I often actually have to go, right, no, wait for him to finish talking. Now press the button. Wait for him to finish talking. Now press the button. And it just kind of breaks the immersion for me a bit.
I have a big issue. I had a big issue in Ghostwire where it's K, is it the sort of like ghost dude who inhabits with you. And in some of the boss battles, he tells you how to defeat them. But because you were in the boss battle at the time, when he was telling me how to defeat them, he was speaking in Japanese. I was too busy concentrating on not dying to read the dialogue.
Yeah.
It's like, shit, what do I do? And he's told me the answer, but I don't know.
There was another game, actually kind of a minor complaint about games, right? We have triggerable events. When you walk into a certain area, a cutscene will play, or the next event or dialogue will trigger, and it will play, and wonderful. Can we please stop it where pieces of dialogue can be played and then cut off by event triggers?
Yes, I 100% agree with you.
It drives me insane.
Particularly, you know how, you're going to start playing this dialogue when the player enters an area. You know how big the area is. You know what speed the characters can move at. If that dialogue cannot be said in the time it takes a character to get to the trigger to engage the cutscene, it's too long.
Yeah.
That happened to us several times in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, in that there'd be dialogue going, but we get an area and it's not always like signposts when you're going to get into a boss arena or something, and there'd be character dialogue talking. You'd walk into an arena and they just cut out because you've hit the trigger. It's like, you know where people are. You know we're going to trigger it. Work it out.
East 10 was atrocious. East 10 was atrocious for that because it was optional dialogue. But if you've got to a certain point in the story, you've made your ship very fast, you've got boosts, and it will cut dialogue if you go through like a loading zone because the map is split into different zones to store it in RAM. So the character's going, oh yes, and I like to have a lovely cream cut. We'll store this in the dialogue options later on, or we'll store it in the dialogue log. And it's like, no, I would have liked to have actually heard the conversation before I got to that point. All right, yes, I triggered it really close to the next cutoff point, but there are often times if anyone watched my streams, which no one did, I would actively stop if I could, if the characters were talking, if I saw an area that might trigger a cutscene. I would stand still until dialogue finished before I moved on because it would drive me nuts if it got cut off.
I mean, that's fine if it's obvious when the areas are, but if it's not, you basically okay, whenever someone talks, you've got to stand still and wait. Yeah. Just to be safe.
Can I also throw out there, because I know you made that complaint about Ghostwire, really overzealous hint systems?
Yes, agreed.
I haven't found the answer in the 10 seconds I've been in the room. You don't have to give me a hint.
Yeah.
And I will say I haven't really got an opinion on the game yet. Stellar Blade is fantastic at that.
Yeah.
Walk into a room, you've walked around the room a lap. Apparently, there's a puzzle there that you haven't even noticed. The game goes, hint. Here's what you got to do. I mean, admittedly, you have to press the button to get the hint to come up on screen.
That seems a good compromise.
Yeah, but sometimes because I've got spastic fingers, occasionally I'll accidentally tap the button, or for some reason the hint button is the same button as the East map button. East 10 map button, so occasionally I accidentally like no brain thumb that button as if I'm trying to bring up the map for whatever reason, and I'm like, oh no, now I know how to do the puzzle, or oh no, now I know where I'm going next.
Yeah,
you know. I mean, there was actually one point in that game where it was like, hey yo, there's an object you need to find in this room, get it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm aware of that because the door in front of me is locked. But I've tried everything and I can't get in. It turns out that another thing that drives me nuts in games, when you have context-sensitive buttons, if you are not lined up just right, and the thing doesn't come up on screen for you to open the thing. Oh my god! Or hey, you need to go over here, but we're not going to make it so that your character kind of. I call it the Sonic Adventure rubber banding problem, the magnetizing problem, where Sonic is moving like mega fast, and the idea is you're supposed to jump, and Sonic is supposed to path onto the next, whatever to keep going.
Yeah.
But occasionally, the game doesn't kind of magnetize you onto that path. You just kind of go whee and then fly off. Stellar Blade is great at that too. You sat there kind of running around, and all of a sudden you're like, "Oh hey, I've got to jump over there," and you press the button. You'll do jump, you'll go jump, you'll do the dash to kind of get into the thing. And it's like, oh yeah, by the way, you've just kind of clipped an invisible wall because you weren't exactly where we thought you'd be.
Yeah.
And then, dum, and anyway.
Yeah. No, I agree with that, and I agree with you with the hints. I also hate games where let's build a really detailed, super duper level, right? Okay, now we're going to highlight everything you need to interact with to get through the level. It's like, well, why have you done this? Why have you made a super? Basically, you've made a game with designed to be a nice, sort of enjoyable explore experience, and then you're gone, yeah, but people want to play through it, don't they? So that's just in that case, just make it a corridor. Get rid of everything else. You don't need it. Just let me explore, let me enjoy and find things for myself, and have to work out how to do things.
I'll note a couple of points there because I don't know why, but we call it Divine syndrome, where if you can't map, my mate Divine is absolutely terrible at navigating in games. But I've noticed since my kind of recent comeback from had a big break from game and come back into gaming and found that my reactions are down and all this kind of stuff, along with other stuff. Apparently my hearing's atrocious now. It's great. I can't map anymore, and so I get lost a lot. And I'm playing these games. It's like, wait, have I already been here? Is this somewhere that I'm supposed to go? Can I go here? It sometimes blows my mind because we've got these really pretty games. I get why we mark certain locations to say here is where you can go, kind of thing. Because some these games, when they look good, it's very difficult to tell what stuff is an interactable object and which is an invisible wall.
Yes.
However, so it kind of amazes me sometimes when I go, will I be able to get in there? No, surely they won't let me do that. Oh, they let me do that. Mind blown. But then there are other times when I'm looking at it going, well, I can get over that. Why can't I get over that? Why is that? Why is that an invisible wall? Why can't I climb that? That's barely even a slope. What? No? Okay. Oh, but there's a yellow marker or a white marker or something. I can go there though. But it's directly next to that. And that's a waist height. Why can't I go over there? Interesting. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I get sometimes why we have to highlight everything, because when you do go super high detail in games, it's pretty difficult to go, that's the actual way. That's the way they want you to go. It's the idea of, where you think you could go and where the game is actually trying to telegraph you to go. That's one thing I liked about Control from Remedy. Dude, you didn't even need to look at that map in the oldest house because everything was signposted because it was an actual building. Everything was signposted, and yet you play games like Stellar Blade, Ghost of Tsushima is a different one because it's much bigger, like open world than that. But there are like you play some of these games and you're like, I have no idea where I'm going unless I've literally got the map on the screen constantly.
Yeah.
Or unless it's actively highlighting the things that I can interact with. Is that something that I can pick up, or is that just random grass?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Fucking games.
Okay. It's funny you can't map. My sister can't map either. Some of the terrible maps. Whenever we used to play like old games with maps.
1 second, man. Sorry. 1 second. Right, sorry about that, mate. So
no, you're right.
Go back to where you were. When your mother and sister play games with maps, they can't map.
They can't map, and I would literally walk in. They'd be sitting there exploring a level. They'd have a map and getting lost, and I'd just go, "Yeah, you just need to go right here, left there, right there to sing it once." They just kind of, and it's like I don't think they could handle like. They're okay if the map rotated with them. It's when the map is like fixed and your character rotates independent maps. So you have to like change orientation in your head. That's where they struggle. But my sister came up with a theory, and so far it's always generally proven true. If ever you play a game, it's got like multiple paths. The leftmost path is always the shortest bit, and always goes to a dead end. You'd be surprised how often that is the case. For some reason, games like it's like you to go right. You'd be surprised. Besides, how many games we played with that rule and it works? You go left and you never either end at a dead end or it'd be like a short bit and not go anywhere. But if you went right, you got to the correct location.
I'm going to try that next game I play, and just everything is going to have to be a right-hand turn.
Yeah. I mean, there might be some cool stuff to the left.
To be fair, man, if I ever see a path, and I think there's like I'm a bit weird like this in games. I'm running straight. There's a slight branch or something that looks like I may be able to go that way in a game. And I'm like, right, stop. Placeholder here. Come back here in a sec. Go there now.
Yeah.
Just go there now. What is that? I have to go see what that is.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll like try and take, as best as my memory will hold it, I will try to cover every possible route. Which is actually probably why I'm now struggling to get through things so much. Like I'm getting lost because I'm like, I've gone down that path, I've gone down that path, I've gone down that path. Okay, have I gone that way? That looks that. And can we stop reusing assets because it makes it really difficult to fucking figure out where the fuck you've been? Like, please. A couple of games I played recently did that, and I was like, wait, that's a vending machine I saw earlier. Wait, no, that's the same asset, but that's a different one.
I mean, to be fair, as an example, vending machines do tend to be quite quick up in the real world, so you may find multiple ones and say look the same.
Well, yeah, but like you'll tend to find that there's another object next to it that'll be different.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
But in this case, they've literally like copy pasted like a set of things in a room. Or you could just say like, hey, this one you can open up the right-hand door. This one you open up the left-hand door. Slight differences just to make it easier to navigate by eye. Instead of going, yeah, we just copy pasted this section, now figure it out.
Yeah.
Again, a reason why I like Control by Remedy is just because I can go, okay, so I head into this room from here, signpost, go that way, there. Okay, next one tells me to go up that way, through the okay, then we'll go left. And then, whereas just I
wonder if that'll play true in that first person shooter.
I'm going to say no.
Probably not.
Have you looked anything into you're talking FBC Firebreak, right?
Yes, yeah.
Federal Bureau of Control Firebreak.
Yeah.
It's that's a weird looking one. A Remedy hero shooter.
Yeah, it looked. That's what I thought. It made when I first saw it, made me think of Deep Rock Galactic. I know it's not obviously. It's just sort of feeling.
Kind of, because it's an extract. I said no, because Deep Rock is an extraction shooter of sorts, isn't it? You go. Yeah, no. You know what? You actually probably are right. Go to place, complete objective, and then fuck off back out. That's the groove I get from FBC.
Yeah.
So I don't imagine it's going to be. I mean, I don't know. So what's good? So what's the groove? What was your groove for that one, man?
Oh, I just came across. I thought, this looks like an interesting shooter. I thought FBC, that rings a bell.
Yeah,
it's Control. Yeah, and that's like it was almost like, oh, I recognise that name. Oh, it's made by Remedy of all people. Which also it feels a very. Have Remedy ever made a first-person shooter before?
Yes, they have. Yes.
Have they?
I don't remember what it was called. They released a shooter or a campaign for a shooter on PC and Xbox years ago. It was someone else's game, but they developed a set of scenarios for it.
Oh, right.
Absolutely gorgeous.
So was it like not a homemade game then? Yeah, it wasn't like a homebrew game then. It was something else.
Yeah, it's not their full series. It's someone else's thing, and they did the work on it. So they have done shooters before, but that got shut down last year before, I think. So you can't even play that anymore.
That's a shame. But yeah, I thought that's once it goes on sale, that'll be a game night game, I think.
Sure. Well, I've been speaking to a few people about it. Apparently, if you've got Xbox Live Game Pass or PlayStation Plus Extra, it's free.
Oh, that's cool.
Free for a
It's
subscription.
included, yeah.
Yeah. And if you've got Game Pass Ultimate, you can get it on PC through the Windows Store. And it's cross-play as well, so console, PC can all play together.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So that's pretty rad. I have looked a little about it, or a little bit into it. It's not the big guys at Remedy that have done this. It's a very small team at Remedy.
Little love project in the corner type thing.
Yeah, I mean, I reckon it'll be great because I'll see something that relates to Control or the Alan Wake universe.
Well, did you see the video where they're going through remove all the post-it notes?
No.
In the video, they go, the bit with all the post-it notes in Control.
Yeah.
There's a bit in the video where they're going through the area, and it just keeps and they keep getting sort of stuck to their screens. So they have to keep clearing them off the screen so they can see what's going on.
It's gonna right. I wonder how that's gonna hit though, because for anyone that hasn't played Control, it's gonna be really fucking weird. And if it is extraction, if giving us an extraction shooter like Deep Rock or whatever, I wonder how those goofy little missions are going to pan out for people who haven't played Control or who.
The way I see it more as a fun shooter with using the theme from Control just for theming purposes rather than a proper game in the sort of the continuity type thing.
I agree. What I'm saying is, how many people are actually going to play it and give it a shot if they haven't played Control? Because how many people are going to go, true. I've got to do things with post-it notes. What the fuck is this?
I think there'll be some people just go, what a weird level that was. All the post-it notes kept sticking to my face. Ha ha.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
I mean, for me, I'll be there in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I love Remedy and Control.
Yeah.
In fact, I love Control so much, they released Control on Mac back in March.
You bought it? Yeah, I was going to say.
No, not yet. But I was tempted.
Yeah.
I was tempted.
Oh, another platform I could own. I own it on 10 others. I don't need it on another platform, but hey, I can have it.
Actually. I think I beat it on Xbox. I own it on PlayStation. I beat it on PC. I didn't know actually. Control was one of the first streamable titles on Nintendo Switch to be released outside of Japan, because you can't play Control on Switch. It's one of those, you get a client and you connect to the net and stream it.
Oh right, okay.
On Switch, I thought that was quite interesting. And Remedy now own the rights to Control again, apparently.
I didn't know they lost them.
So, because Remedy didn't publish it, did they? They went to 505.
Oh, right.
So technically 505 owned the publishing rights for it. Now
okay.
Remedy owned the publishing rights for Control. I'm hoping Remedy will get the license and rights back for all their other games.
Yeah.
Although I am still terrified what they're going to do with the Max Payne remake, because it's only going to take one change to completely ruin it for me.
Yeah.
But I know that what I want is going to be a very hard ask.
Yeah.
And it's highly unlikely. And just in case anyone's curious, Max Payne was voiced by the late Jim McCaffrey, and I highly, highly doubt that they got Jim involved to record any of Max's dialogue before his passing a few years back.
Potentially, if they have the original coins in the hardcore, they could reuse them original ones, maybe.
Well, see, that's what I'm hoping for, but I'm not thinking that's likely.
Or if they really want to sell out, they'll train AI on his voice and get that to voice it.
I suppose. Just for me, James McCaffrey is Max Payne.
Yeah.
And
wasn't he the director as well in Control?
Yes, he was. Yeah, he was director Trench. Because the chap who's the face of Alan Wake, the voice of Alan Wake is Casper Darling in Control. So Control is kind of the game that connected the Remedy universe together.
Yeah. Well, it's a game that couldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, which I thought was absolutely, I thought that was absolutely brilliant when I got to play it. But as I say, with Jim passing away, I mean, to be honest with you, Ram, I wouldn't mind if they just gave Max Payne 1 and 2 a fresh coat of paint and just like stuck with all the same audio, all the same assets, all the same music, like assets is in like all the sound stuff, and like I don't know.
I hope they don't ruin the flamingo.
Yeah, oh, mate, I love that.
Mirrors are more fun than television.
Hang on.
He's got the flamingo. Is it psychotic? Does it kill you?
Probably, yes. Oh no, it's fell over. It's dead.
Mirrors aren't more fun than television.
But yeah, no man, I love Remedy stuff. I don't want them to fuck with James McCaffrey's stuff. I know it's their stuff, you know, but just changing Max Payne's audio would really no.
I suppose my sort of my own memory of Max Payne was flying through the air sideways most of the time.
Yeah,
which is the fun. But that's the bit I hope they do it again. They maintain that, because I've heard if they tend to list a cover-based shooter.
No, but that's what they did with Max Payne 3, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Because Rockstar owns the license to, or the rights to Max Payne, and they turned Payne 3 into a cover shooter, which wasn't bad. It wasn't very Max Payne-y though.
No.
I will say though, like, so first time I played it, I remember going, "Ugh, this isn't really very good. This isn't really very Remedy-like. This isn't Max Payne at all." Because obviously it wasn't Remedy.
I'm going to guess that the Max Payne 3 played very much like the shooting bits in GTA.
It did feel a bit like, it did feel very GTA-like, because Max was swearing a lot more, and he felt like a GTA character. Now, I'll throw out there, when I first played it, I remember it being a lot more egregious than it actually was. As if like Max was telling people to go fuck themselves like every 5 seconds. He wasn't. Just, I don't know, man. It really didn't sit. It didn't have the same tone at all. It was a completely different game. And I just hope they don't do that with the Payne remakes, because there was a vibe for Max Payne 1 and 2. The atmosphere was so fucking thick.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair to Remedy do seem to try and take into account their worlds, which seem to want to maintain them. They don't seem to want to. They don't seem like the sort of company to do that. But I know why you have a fear for them doing it.
The issue I have is, again, Max Payne is like one of their most popular series still to this day. Like, I think Control is the only other one that came close to Max Payne in sales.
Yeah.
And again, James McCaffrey had to fight to stay as Max Payne for Max Payne 3. Remedy continually worked with James McCaffrey I mean, he was in Max Payne. He was in Alan Wake. Obviously, he was in Control. It would just be really, really weird if all of a sudden Ob Jim ain't in it.
Yes.
But he can't be. Again, rest his soul. But then it's the same issue I had with. I could be wrong on this one, but there was a character called. I'm just trying to think. Quantum Break. Was it Martin Hatch? Was it Martin Hatch in Quantum Break?
I've only played the start of Quantum. I've not actually played through the game.
Right. Well, so in Quantum Break, there's a character. I believe his name is Martin Hatch, and he's played by Lance Reddick. Rest his soul. When Alan Wake 2 came out, there was a character named Whirling Door, or Whirling Doors. I can't remember the actual character name. That was either Door or Doors or whatever. And because Reddick had passed away, in my head I was thinking, okay, you've got so Jesse Faden, the lassie who played Jesse Faden from Control, was also another character in Quantum Break. Do
you mean the actress rather than the actual, or was Jesse?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
right. And then the lad who plays the main character in Quantum Break was also a character in Alan Wake 2. Obviously, Jim McCaffrey was Max Payne, Trench, and oh Christ, Thomas Zane in Alan Wake. So like there's lots of crossover.
They have a stable of voice actors they use most of their games.
And in Alan Wake 2, the lad who plays a sheriff in Alan Wake 2, and also the main character in Quantum Break goes, I saw a woman who I knew, but I swear I know her from somewhere else. And she's talking about Jesse Faden. He's talking about Jesse Faden. This redhead, basically saying how he bumps into this red-haired woman who looks like this woman from somewhere else, talking about Quantum Break. And they start kind of mashing the universes together, because then he's starting to have memories of his other Remedy life, whilst he's in the kind of other realm of the Alan Wake universe. And so in my head, I'm like, okay, Lance Reddick was Martin Hatch. Does that mean he was also supposed to be in Alan Wake 2 as well, in Door, Hatch? But obviously because he'd passed away or he was unwell, they probably couldn't get him in to do it, because obviously that was quite a physical role, if I remember correctly. Dancing around and singing and all that kind of Remedy craziness. And so I'm sat there going, you can't fucking replace James McCaffrey. You just can't. I mean, you can't really replace Lance Reddick. They might have done. They did. They might have done. But it doesn't make me feel overly comfortable about the idea of the Max Payne remake, because of that atmosphere, because of that character and the history. And come on, any motherfucker who tries to take on the role of Max Payne, people are going to go, "Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah. They'll give it to Nolan North.
No. I don't know. You never know. Maybe because I'm old and I can't hear things properly anymore, maybe I won't know the difference.
Maybe you won't.
But I'd be very upset if they did change that. But yeah, we'll have to everyone get into FBC. I actually spoke to Zebra about it last night, because I said you'd linked it to me, and I said to him, you can play it on. I asked him if he had Game Pass, and he was like, yeah. And I was like, well, then you can already play it. So he can already play it. My mate Devine can already play it. But it's I guess it's just a three-player shooter.
Yeah. Which is unusual. I don't see many three-player. Usually 4 seems to be the sort of standard, so it's unusual. But I saw that.
Did Deep Rock do 3 or 4? I can't remember.
I have a feeling that was 3, yeah. Because I'm just thinking, it was 3. Because at the end, it's just in the end screen, you have like evenly divided by 3 people. It looks like right, doesn't it? So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I thought 3 people. Hey, who do
No, just look, they've done it and they've made it for us. So we've got
yeah.
to try that.
Yeah, it's like they said. Well, Skazz is one of our biggest fans, and they like Nicholas and Ram like shooters, and they've got that Danish guy as well. Let's make a game for them,
Mate, do you know what would be really fun? Hey, Remedy, call me. Call me.
Yeah. Max Payne remake starring Skazz as Max Payne.
Mate, that'd be terrifying. I would instantly.
Yeah.
Like, let's put it this way: if that came up, never would. Let's pretend in an alternate universe, the Alan Wake universe, right? That all of a sudden I'm Max Payne. I would have to turn that offer down. Straight up. I'd have to turn it down, man. There's no way I could do it.
I think the best offer I get from Remedy is Untitled Goon number 6, who dies very early in Control by being crushed by Beer Stone.
Mate, I'll take that role.
Yeah.
I'll take that one. Fucking
You in Control? Yeah, do you want to hear my line? Yeah.
yeah, if Jesse Faden wants to throw concrete at me, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that's a weird fetish. Well,
to be fair, most people in Control get concrete thrown at them by Jesse Faden.
you damn right. Best weapon in the game, mate. Concrete.
It is. Particularly when you do one that can spin round and turn into a shield.
Mate, I never use that. I never use that. I just steamroll people with high-speed concrete. I love that game so much.
Well, because it did telekinesis right. It's like, you have to aim at something to put up. No, you just hit a button or magically comes around you no matter what. It's like, that's how you do it.
Which, funny enough, is actually kind of how Max Payne shooting works, because people seem to get it into your head that you have to aim in Max Payne 1 and 2. You don't. Just point in the general direction.
Yeah.
But oh man, yeah, you're right. You press the button, she pulls up concrete or whatever office furniture is nearby. You point it in the general direction of the enemy and just watch as they fucking turn into a fine mist.
And what I love about that power as well is that it stays useful for the entire game.
Yep. Oh god, yes. I stacked that like a motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
I used concrete more than my gun.
Well, the trouble with the gun is the gun runs through ammunition so quickly.
I see, I don't worry. So I just go, gun, put it down, concrete, we're good. Boss fight, concrete.
Here's this magical special gun. It only works for the director. He's going to like you. It's just for you. Nah, mate, concrete.
Concrete everywhere, mate.
Yeah.
Brutalist design.
All concrete works for me. The gun may,
right.
but all the concrete does.
Hey. Who's just like, you go to an airport. Can't take your gun with you, but you can definitely rip up some concrete.
Exactly. All I can say is, at the Federal Control, they must have a really big building department. Yeah, it's like you just imagine they're sat there around the office one day drinking their cup of really milky builder's tea, and guy comes in and goes, Jesse spins to the 4th floor again. Again? Not again. Please tell me she used the gun. No.
Well, to be fair, mate, that gun turns it's a rail gun, it's a shotgun, and a pistol.
Yeah.
They're still going to be going through like, oh, for fuck's sake, we have to patch up all the holes again.
But at least it's patching. You can be a bit of polyfiller for that. When Jesse doesn't use the gun, they've got to go to Travis Perkins.
Actually, to be fair, that's not entirely true, though, is it? Because the oldest house, like, morphs as you move around it.
Yeah.
So I would imagine it's self-healing, because the house itself is a living being.
Yeah, when there's a builder there somewhere, they just keep well out of sight. The house, the house has a whole section. The house looks after the builders. They're hidden there somewhere.
It's not that the house is alive. It's just there is that secret like scuttering set of builders just going around like healing, like
exactly.
masking everything
That's
up.
what I mean.
Where'd that corridor come from? Oh, it's just the oldest house moving around again. No, it's just the builders have fucking filled up that one, filled up that door, moved the corridor over there. Got to keep them in business,
out the back of the holders' house, there's just a big loading dock, which is a constant stream of lorries from like Travis Perkins and B&Q turning up, and it's been constantly unloaded. Like another 80 pallets of bricks. Yes, another 80 pallets of bricks. Like you go through an awful lot, but the building doesn't get any bigger. No.
Hang on, wait. The director's coming. Everyone hides.
But it's okay.
Something.
They make the money back by selling all the gravel from all the concrete that's been smashed to pieces.
Jesse's coming through.
That's the secret.
Lads, get the wheelbarrows.
That's the secret. That's how Federal Bureau of Control stays in business. It's not government funding. It's literally quarrying. On all double addresses.
But there is a quarry, though, isn't there?
There is. But all those guards that Jesse beats up, they're just actors. It's like we need some raw materials. Just get a load of people to pretend they've been possessed again.
So just as another note, I did look into FBC. Apparently, it takes place 6 years after Control.
Well, that's gonna be interesting.
Everyone's locked in the building.
Still,
So you're not, you know, you don't have any superpowers or anything. You are just random office worker 53. So these characters could have been voiced
I
by
want to
us.
play
Ren.
Office Worker 54.
Well, sorry, mate. The
Oh.
54 died.
Oh,
You might get 55 or 56.
can I be 59?
Maybe. We'll see.
Is he unlockable 59?
I don't know.
You have to get like the highest achievement on one of the levels to unlock. No, the highest achievement to unlock is is for Office Worker 69.
You have to, no, mate, you've got to platinum the entire game to do that.
Yeah.
Fucking, there you go. It's unlocked all the achievements, max level, all of the perks, all of the weapon unlocks, all of the skins. Now give
Yeah.
him.
My theory, I like to think that in FBC, your actual like boss who's in charge of you is the janitor.
Oh, Artie?
Yeah, when he's in charge of you all.
He's in Alan Wake 2, isn't he? Artie the janitor.
What, the actual again, I was wondering the voice actor or the actual character?
No, both. He's
Well,
on
yeah.
tour. He's singing. He goes singing. You know how you see people doing pub gigs and they're like, there's just that shitty little stage
Yeah.
and everyone's got all the Artie's there singing. He goes on he's going on all his tours of coffee shops and stuff and he stood there singing.
I had a feeling that someone thinks that Artie is like a Norse god.
Yeah, he's a
yeah.
supernatural being. Yeah, because Thor and Odin are the old gods of Asgard are his mates. So the theory is that he shifts between realities. He shifts between the connected universes of the Remedy stuff. So,
Is that because I've heard, is that canon or is that just sort of fan theory?
well, considering when he goes on holiday, he has literally gone to another plane in Control.
Yeah, but I mean the whole Norse god thing, is that a canon thing or is that a fan theory?
Who can say? Ask Remedy. I haven't read through all the paperwork, but maybe.
what is CV?
Yeah, that's it.
It's
I mean, come on, man.
Right,
He's a busy guy.
According to this, your previous experience was being a god of all of creation. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Do you think you'll be able to handle the stress of cleaning up some coffee cups?
I mean, he could be, and he seemed pretty chill.
He did seem pretty chill.
I love Artie.
yeah.
What a great guy.
Yeah.
He's like talking to us, oh, for fuck's sake, the furnace is acting up again. Just go down there and give it a good whack. It's like, all right, insane.
Yeah, oh, the first is it occasionally eats people. You know that one.
Yeah. And you're like, all right, Artie, cool. Not a problem.
Yeah. Is there one part of this building that is semi-normal? Just one bit that doesn't do crazy things?
No.
No.
Just no. Let's be fair, mate. Possessed fridges that you have to stare at and...
Oh, that better make its way into FBC. Wouldn't that be an interesting mechanic if FBC had the fridge was there? You had to one player always had to be staring at it while you're being attacked.
Oh, mate, that'd be brutal. So all of the I can't remember what they're called now, but you know what I mean. The items of power.
Yeah,
oh, man, that'd be so insane.
Yeah, it's okay, right, we've got to take it in turns staring at the fridge.
What were some of the other ones? There was a fridge, traffic light, post-it notes, TV.
Yeah.
Alan Wake's
Well, the fridge was special because the fridge you met another went to an extra-dimensional entity realm, didn't you? The former.
Yeah.
Who's I think there's I don't know if it's canon or it's a fan theory that he's a former. He's called former because he's a former member of the board.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Because the idea is as well that you're supposed to be speaking to Trench and his board after he's shot himself.
Yeah.
I love them games.
That's such a weird game.
So good, dude. You need to play Quantum Break because it is literally dude, it's Control with time manipulation mechanics.
Yeah, I think it's on my little play. I've got a little subfolder on Steam, which is my playlist. I think it's in there as games I want. I really want to play that soon. So I think it's in there.
You got to do it. You got to do it.
Oh, I'll add that to. I shall come to that. But yeah. Oh, to have another game that I think my sister wants us to play. I think she wants me and you to play. It's called Sheep Herds. and it's a game where you play 2 sheepdogs and you have to herd sheep.
I like doggos.
Well, yeah, you can play as a doggo.
I've never been a doggo, but I like doggos.
Well, you can be one now. Yeah.
I can be a doggo.
Sure. She said this. Have you noticed recently on Steam that a lot of games now have demos?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
It's also recently like gone. It's like play the demo. It's like that's cool. They're bringing back demos.
To be fair, it's probably for the best on 2 counts. One,
Steam refunds.
Gamers have been whining about demos for years.
Yeah.
Right. And of course, yeah, people are paying for the game, going, "Oh, the game's shit," or "It doesn't run properly." Refund.
Yeah.
Just give them the demo.
Get them out and people try it. I remember the glory days back in we suppose the sort of late 90s, 80s. Where if you bought the PC, if you bought like your PC game mag, it would come with a CD and later on a DVD, just full of demos. And you could play it. And so there were so many games that I bought after playing the demo. Games I wouldn't normally always try, but because I had the demo of it, I played it, gave it a go because it cost me nothing. And I thought, this is really good. I'm going to go buy this game.
Yeah, same. Roll Cage was one. Absolutely loved that back in the day. Played the demo a shit ton.
Do you know what the big one for me was? And it's going to probably shock you. Half-Life.
Oh wow, really?
I bought Half-Life. I'd heard of Half-Life, but I hadn't. I hadn't sort of like drifted away and sort of came to gaming just after Half-Life had been big.
Yeah.
And so I was sort of like a little bit, but and obviously when you sort of like start getting into it, you sort of like you're a bit behind the times a little bit. Yeah. And I'd heard of it, and then I had a demo disc that had Opposing Force on it. So I played it, really enjoyed it, and I thought, well, this is that spin-off to Half-Life. I'll go get Half-Life. So I bought Half-Life and Opposing Force.
Do you know what really put me off Half-Life?
What?
Well, other than it's Half-Life, Steam.
Not Half-Life 1, sure.
Not Half-Life 1, but Half-Life 2. But the idea, and this might be like, what do you mean? Like, Steam put you off? Once upon a time, people didn't actually like Steam.
Oh, it's hated. Absolutely hated.
The idea that you had to install an extra piece of software to play the game you've bought the disc for?
Yeah.
What is this?
Only it has to be online as well.
Exactly. And it's just like, oh my god, I could not stand it. The idea that I had to make a Steam account. Yeah. And then years and years later, I had a Steam account and I lost it. And then when the kids were born, I bumped into an old friend from school and he's like, "Yeah, man, you've got a PC. Just get back on it. Like get playing again." Because I was still the crazy motherfucker, like buying games on disc, putting them in, type in the serial key.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh my god!" And it's like, "Yeah, don't worry about that. You can even put the serial key in Steam and it will register it to your library." I'm like, "Oh my god!"
And my Steam, what converted me to Steam, I've told the story before. Heroes, Dark Messiah, Heroes of Might and Magic, Dark Messiah. Mm-hmm. Played the demo of it, strangely enough, enjoyed the demo, bought the game. And Dark Messiah, you had to have Steam installed with it. It was one of the early games that required Steam.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh. So I installed Steam, played it and so forth, and really enjoyed it and so forth. That was great, yeah, have fun and so forth. And obviously registered to the account and all this sort of stuff. Like, what a palaver. I've got to use Steam to play a game. And that was fine. So I got a new PC. Got a PC, and at this point, for Half-Life was still coming, so I installed Steam on it. And in my games list was Dark Messiah of Might and Magic. It's like, oh, I installed that. So I just double-clicked it. I said, do you want to install it? It's like, what? Click install. I was like, we're installing it. I was like, what? So I don't need to go find the disc again. It's just going to, because it's registered the account, just installs it. And that basically converted me to Steam. It's like, okay, I get this now. I don't have to worry about, like, it's just there. It's on my list. I don't have to worry about it. Happy days.
That's basically how I was after I had kids. It was one of those, like, kids and discs don't get on.
Yeah.
Discs and kids mean more space. And to be fair, if I think about all of the things that I've owned in my life that I have lost or have been broken, I haven't got that issue with my Steam account.
Yeah.
Like, as long as I still have the Steam account, I'm good.
And since the sync
saves
now,
all my photos and my videos and all that kind of stuff, I've lost so much stuff. but my games will always be there.
And
until
since
Valve
Steam now
bans me.
also syncs a lot of saves as well.
Yes. Well, I've still got saves from
Yeah.
years and years and years ago, and it's a free service. Thank you, Valve. Unlike Sony and everyone else that charges you for save syncing, because it's great for me because I moved from say my main machine to the Steam Deck. I might then move to a Linux laptop or my Mac, and all of the saves will just kind of sync between. And it's just like, this is so good. I can just pick up, I can finish playing the game on the telly, turn the game off on the telly, the save syncs. I then pick up my Steam Deck, I fuck off out of the house, launch the game, and there's the save. It really throws me off when I now play games that don't have save syncs on Steam.
Yeah.
Drives me nuts.
I think Valve realised early on that, let's face it, Steam is basically a system to sell you games. That's what it's there to do. And to do that, they have to make the rest of it make you want to have it on your system. And the other thing, I remember Valve, and Gabe said this right early on, he said, at the end of days, piracy. Piracy was a distribution issue. Not if people pirated because it was easier than getting the games properly downloaded. You pirate a game, you have to worry about anti-cheat software, you have to worry about jumping through hoops to get code, you don't have to worry about anything. And he said it just made it complicated. Steam is, you buy a game in 2 buttons, basically. Or 3 if you count tricking a little text box saying I accept the terms and conditions button. But basically,
if you want people to buy your games, make it more convenient than pirating the damn thing.
Exactly, and it worked. I mean, people are going to pirate. There'll always be people going to pirate games either because they simply can't afford them, or because they just don't want to pay for it. In the same way that people will always be part of their stealing stuff. You won't stop
it. Out there as well. Just as a note, if you're one of those people that are going to go, you're going to swing your morals and go, that company bad, I won't pay for their game, and then you pirate it, you're a cunt.
Yeah.
I cannot stand people who do that. I won't support this company, but I'm going to play their games anyway after I pirate them.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Just sorry, that really gets on my tits.
Yeah.
Like, if you just said I don't want to pay for it, fine. But if you go, I don't like that company, or I don't like that CEO, or I don't like that, and then you go out and you pirate their thing just because you don't want to give them money, but you still want to play their game, you're an asshole.
Did you see that following a legal ruling, Epic are actually going to be removing games from people's libraries?
Oh,
There's a game called Dark and Darker, and basically there's been a legal ruling in South Korea over copyright and stuff. So Epic have been forced to basically remove the game from sale and remove it from people's libraries.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then everyone will go, well, this is why you should go physical.
To be fair, they are going to refund people when they remove it, so that's something. But to be fair, it's their hands are tied in this one. It's a legal ruling that's forced them to do it, so their hands are slightly tied. But that is the only downside to digital distribution. Is that if they want to, they can just remove it.
Yeah, which again is fair. But then by the same token, I am still of the opinion that 9 times out of 10, if you buy a disc these days, all you're doing is buying a physical snapshot of the game, not the actual game itself.
Yeah, because if you buy a disc game that was broken on day 1 launch and then the game disappears, you'll never get the patch for it again.
Exactly.
So
exactly. The game you play today is probably not the game that was pressed on the disc, and the consumer shouldn't have to then jump through a million hoops to go, I need to find a version of the disc with all of the game on it, because the later pressings will have like more of the stuff on the disc if they ever decide to release it like that. You shouldn't then, that would then devalue the earlier pressings of the game for a start. And let's be honest with you, if you're at the point where you're having to source update data, you're probably at the point where the console has been broken or jailbroken or whatever that would then allow you to install pirated games anyway. So having the physical disc doesn't fucking mean anything. No.
It's, as you say, it's just a digital license these days in physical form. It doesn't, as you say, it means nothing.
It means nothing.
Particularly for consoles. I think it's probably a worse thing on consoles because, oh yeah, you've got this, now let's install it. Oh, we're going to update now. I was like, really? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to a point, because there are some versions...
R99, please.
No, you can't have one. if, like, for example, if you play Cyberpunk, I can't remember if it's the Xbox disc or the PlayStation disc, but the Xbox disc has the entire game on it. The PlayStation disc only has like half of it or 2/3 of it. Like the other chunk of it, you have to download. And so, well, again, the consumer shouldn't have to jump through hoops to go, I want to own my thing, while I'm going to have to buy this game on that platform and that game on this platform.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to check on the serial to make sure that I get this cartridge for this system so that I can have that thing.
There must be a reason why they've done it that way. Is it a like a disc type thing maybe? Kind of they're sort of high capacity discs?
No, I'm pretty sure they're both on Blu-ray.
That's weird because it seems a weird thing to do. There must be some reason we're not aware of why they've done it.
Yeah, it is bizarre, but then it happens. Again, it's probably the same kind of groove that if they've ever had to release like a mission critical patch for say the Xbox version and maybe not the PlayStation version. So one version or maybe the Xbox version didn't need the patch. Or whatever version needed a patch got a newer disc, if you get what I mean.
Is it perhaps because Xbox is basically a modified PC, so it's just running on PC? I don't know.
Apparently, there's the next Xbox they're going to allow you to use third-party stores potentially. So basically, they are just going to open it up as a PC.
Yeah. At what point does an Xbox just become a PC of Windows and stores on it?
Dude, they've needed to do that for years, let's be honest.
At this point, an Xbox is basically a Windows machine instead of a Steam machine, really, isn't it? You're just buying a pre-built PC.
The PlayStation 5 is a little bit more complicated because of the way the memory in that works. But like in the case of the Xbox, I think it's just running standard memory modules. So
I'm pretty sure isn't an Xbox operating system just a derivative of Windows anyway?
Yeah. Well, it's running on the Windows kernel, isn't it? So
yeah, just with a different sort of skin on top. You could probably install Xbox skin on your PC.
Probably.
I'm sure someone
I do believe actually they're releasing a gaming edition of Windows to go on handhelds to compete with SteamOS. Because I think, to be fair, Sony have completely destroyed Microsoft this generation. And with the Steam Deck, Microsoft's kind of quivering because people are leaving.
Yeah.
All they had was the gaming market, and now they don't really have that.
Yeah. Well. Oh, dear.
Stop installing shit on people's PCs they don't want.
Yeah. Yeah, like also you'll go open up your start like on Windows Windows 10, you go open the start menu, there'd be games suddenly appeared there. It's like I didn't install these.
You uninstalled Candy Crush and in the last update they reinstalled Candy Crush.
Or something else. Like I didn't No, I don't want you to install stuff for me. Fuck off.
Yep.
Well,
fun
times ahead. Well, I think after our little natter there, I think that's actually we're worried because we never really played any games, so we're a bit like what we're going to do. But we've for some have done quite well.
So too, maybe we went hardcore on that one.
Yeah. So I'm going to end it there, I think. So thank you both for joining us this evening. You can join us on our next games night, which will be, and again, I always do this, I never look at the dates right at the start. I know I've got to say this, so I really should look at the dates right at the start, but I don't. You can join us on our next games night, which will be on the 2nd of July at 2030 GMT +1. You can join us on our next podcast, which will be on the 3rd of July. Isn't it like the day before we escape from America? 3rd of July?
Yes.
Yeah, so say we sort of we don't want anything to do with you guys anymore. You can just have it, and
they have their Independence Day. And we're like, thank fuck, they're gone.
Good job we did. Good job we did. It's like we had the amicable breakup, and we go, I'm so glad we didn't stay with them. We've said putting our arms around Canada. We always preferred you more to them.
Wow.
So come to us on the 3rd of July at 18:30 GMT +1. So once again, good news, Skazz. Longest day on Saturday. All downhill from there. So for me, the Suffercram.
Skazz, yes. Yay!
Thank you for watching us this evening, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Take it easy, guys.